Willpower, Chapter 6, Active Will. The stage of action is the fifth stage of the will process. Here, will manifests in voluntary action, i.e., the process of acting and moving by willpower. This is the final stage of the will process, the stage in which all the preceding stages have been but as preliminaries. In voluntary action, the will manifests its unique character and nature. Toward the end of voluntary action, all the energies of the will have been directed. Willpower essentially is concerned with action. All human actions are caused by will. Whenever emotion rises to motivity and action, that motivity and action is will action. Will is inevitably involved in all doing. The motor element of ideas is obtained from will. Theoretically, it may be said that decision and determination complete the process of will, and indeed the old psychologists so held and taught. But practical experience supported by the teaching of the new psychology insists that decisions and determinations are of little real value unless they proceed into action. The old saying that the road to hell is paved with good intentions might well be altered in its phrasing so as to read that the pathway to inferno is paved with non-completed good decisions and aborted resolutions. Many persons are in the habit of thinking that when they decide and resolve to do a thing, then the matter is ended and they need do nothing else in the matter. It is very easy to sit in a comfortable armchair and resolve that you will do thus and so in the world of action, but it is quite different to perform even 1/10 of the deeds which you may thus resolve and decide to do, though many persons do not seem to perceive the distinction and difference between the two processes. As William James has told us, you lie abed on a cold morning and firmly resolve to get up and begin the work of the day. You decide that this is the only rational course to pursue, and you make up your mind to follow it. But often you do not even stir a muscle toward that action. In such cases, it is only when the idea of getting up becomes disturbingly insistent, when your mental alarm clock rings most annoyingly and persistently, that you spring out of bed with a final protesting growl and grumble. The world is filled with persons who are unable to realize that deciding and resolving to do a thing is far different matter from actually doing it. These persons seldom accomplish any real work of their own volition. All that they do, they are forced to do by others or by the force of circumstances. They are always deciding to do things, resolving to do things, but they never actually do things. Their will processes are seldom completed. The men and women who do the work of the world, who achieve success, who accomplish their ends and aims, are those who, having grimly resolved and determined to do a certain thing, then complete the will process by moving into action in the direction of doing the thing in question. But here again, we meet with another of those strange paradoxes with which the science of psychology abounds. We have just seen that if you expect to accomplish anything in the world, you must pass beyond the stage of mere decision, resolution, and determination. You must rise to the plane of voluntary action. But on the other hand, we must now inform you that if you expect your voluntary action to amount to anything, to be efficient, to accomplish its purpose, you must carry into your voluntary action a highly developed form of determination. In fact, when closely analyzed, voluntary action is seen to be purposeful determination manifesting its dynamic aspect. The subjective phase of determination is the static aspect of will. Objective voluntary action is the dynamic aspect of will. The two are but twin aspects of the same thing at the last. This fact being perceived, it follows that your effective voluntary action always must be preceded by and accompanied by strong, positive, purposeful determination. Let us here repeat the definition of this term. The term purpose means the view, aim, design, intention, determination, resolution, or will to accomplish or reach some particular object, that which a person sets before himself as the object to be gained or accomplished, the end or aim which one has in view in any plan, measure, or exertion, that which one intends to do, hence as intention, design, plan, or project. The term determination in this particular usage is defined as strength or firmness of mind, firm resolve or resolution, or absolute direction to a certain end. From the foregoing definitions, you will have no difficulty in forming a clear and positive concept of purposeful determination. But for the purpose of illustration, we ask you to consider, ponder over, and memorize the following quotations from eminent writers. Each of these has been selected for a special purpose and will awaken and bring out a certain phase of your willpower. They will help you to fill the details of your mental picture or general idea of purposeful determination, that essential spirit of will. Buxton says, "The longer I live, the more certain I am that the great difference between men, between the feeble and the powerful, the great and the insignificant, is invincible determination, a purpose once fixed and then victory or death. That quality will do anything that can be done in this world, and no talents, no circumstances, no opportunities will make a two-legged creature a man without it." Mitchell says, "Resolve is what makes a man manifest, not a puny resolve, not errant purpose, but that strong and indefatigable will which treads down difficulties and danger as a boy treads down the heaving frost lands of winter, which kindles his eye and brain with a pulse beat toward the unattainable will, makes men giants." Disraeli says, "I have brought myself by long meditation to the conviction that a human being with a settled purpose must accomplish it, and that nothing can resist a will which will stake even existence itself upon its fulfillment." Simpson says, "A passionate desire and an unwearied will can perform impossibilities, or what may seem to be such, to the cold and feeble." Foster says, "It is wonderful to note how even the casualties of life seem to bow to a spirit that will not yield to them, and tend to subserve a design which they may, in their apparent tendency, threaten to frustrate. When a firm, decisive spirit is recognized, it is curious to see how the space clears around a man and leaves him room and freedom." Emerson says, "We go forth austere, dedicated, believing in iron links of destiny, and will not turn in our heels to save our lives. A book, a bust, or only the sound of a name shoots a spark through the nerves, and we suddenly believe in will. We cannot hear a personal vigor of any kind, great powers of performances, without fresh resolution." This then is the spirit of which you should institute your voluntary actions, leading to the achievement and realization of your prime motives, your top values, your fixed standard, your summum bonum, or chief good. You should approach your task in the spirit of the master formula of attainment, which is referred to so frequently in our instruction, and which is as follows: 1, definite ideals; 2, insistent desire; 3, confident expectation; 4, persistent determination; and 5, balanced compensation. We ask you to consider carefully the principles of this master formula which you are about to employ in your task of voluntary action leading toward achievement. Consider in detail its elements, as these are presented to you in the following several pages. Ponder them carefully. Commit to memory their essential points. 1, definite ideals. Before you may proceed intelligently to do a thing, to obtain a thing, or to achieve a thing, it is necessary that you have a clear and definite idea and ideal of that thing. In your consideration of purposeful determination, you must not lose sight of the importance of purpose while you are developing determination. Determination will lose much of its dynamic force if it is scattered, or if the purpose directing it lacks definiteness and clearness. Remember that one of the definitions of determination is absolute direction to a certain end, and that purpose means the aim, design, intention, resolution, determination, and will to accomplish or to reach some particular object or end. Note particularly the reference to a certain end and to some particular object or end. The words certain and particular imply definiteness, clearness, preciseness, specificness, of meaning, idea, and ideals. They point to the necessity of definite ideals and definite purpose. If definite direction is lacking in your voluntary action, then your purposeful determination has lost one of its strong arms. This first element of the master formula is very important in the case before us, the case of the manifestation of voluntary action and purposeful determination. Before you can really determine to act effectively, you must know the purpose of your action, the end to be attained, or the thing to be obtained, or the direction in which you wish to travel. The more definite and positive your purpose and aim, the greater will be the degree of concentration that you're able to apply to the task. Here you must bring to bear your powers of ideation and visualization. You must learn to map out the land over which you are to travel, to chart the seas over which you wish to sail. You must exercise your constructive ability in designing, planning, mapping out, and making a working diagram of that which you wish to accomplish. You know the general direction by reason of your knowledge of your prime motives, top values, and fixed standard, but probably you have failed to draw your plan in further detail and to fill in all of the minor points. You must correct and overcome this deficiency if it exists in your case. You may find it impossible to draw your plans in very close detail, however. In such case, do the best you can. Draw the general outline as clearly as possible and then fill in the details from time to time as soon as they take form in your constructive imagination. Do the best you can in the creation of a definite purpose. A little practice will enlarge your capacity for work of this kind. You would not expect a builder to erect a house for you unless he were supplied with a working plan by the architect. And you would not expect a railroad conductor to build a line or road for you unless he was furnished with the plans of the engineer for such construction. Therefore, you must know positively, clearly, and definitely what you wish to accomplish, the ends and aims to be attained, the direction of your efforts, the particular purpose you wish to work out into achievement before you can expect to apply effectively your persistent determination. It is not scientific for you to sing, "I don't know where I'm going, but I'm on my way." You must know where you're going, and not only that, you must also know for just what purpose you are going there and what you are likely to meet with on the road. You must take a lesson from the old story of the architect on the witness stand. He stated that one of his profession was required to plan every building. The opposing lawyer sneeringly asked him, "Pray tell us then, who was the architect of the Tower of Babel?" The architect promptly answered, "There was none, sir, hence the confusion and failure." By reference to the quotations on a preceding page, you will see that the quoted writers have laid special emphasis upon the purpose well fixed, the settled purpose, the design. Disraeli's statement that a human being with a settled purpose must accomplish it gives us the keynote. The purpose must not only be clear and definite, but it also must be a fixed and settled purpose, a purpose adhered to with dogged persistency and determined steadfastness. The more clearly you can see just what you want to do, the better able will you be able to do it, and the more determined you will be to materialize that idealized and visualized purpose. You must not only want to hard enough, but you must also know just what you want, to know it clearly enough and definitely enough. Possessing and manifesting these powers of your mental and emotional being, you are prepared to apply and to exercise your purposeful determination to its utmost capacity and with its full powers. Having discovered your purpose in life, you must proceed to manifest it in voluntary action and to materialize it. The more definite and clear the mental picture, the more definite and positive will be the materialization. 2, insistent desire. You have become acquainted with the facts concerning the power of desire. You have seen that all willpower is set into operation by desire, and that the degree of manifested willpower is directly proportionate to the degree of the desire back of and under it. This being so, you need no further argument concerning the necessity of manifesting strong, positive desire when you wish to accomplish anything. You realize that the flame of desire is needed to generate the steam of voluntary action. Toward the attainment of the objects or circumstances represented by your top values or prime motives, or the manifestation of your fixed standard, you should ever seek to manifest that insistent, imperious, dominant feeling and desire which will not be denied. This mental state we have repeatedly illustrated by the example of the drowning man or suffocating man demanding air, the starving man demanding food, the shipwrecked or desert lost man demanding water, the wild creature demanding its mate, the mother creature demanding the safety and welfare of its young. This is the spirit of insistent desire in which you should approach your task of voluntary action toward the attainment of your prime motives and top values. 3, confident expectation. The mental state represented by the term confident expectation is one of positive value to you. Its opposite, i.e., the mental state of fearful doubt, is most harmful to you. Confident expectation tends to release into activity all the powers of your mental being and to fill them with that eagerness for accomplishment, which is based upon confidence and belief in the final successful outcome. Fear and doubt tend to paralyze the will, while faith and hope tend to energize it and inspire it. We need not here go into the psychology of this fact. Sufficient for the present purpose is the statement of the fact itself and the reference to common experience to illustrate its operations. If you will consider the cases of the men and women who have accomplished great things in the world along any of the many lines of human endeavor, you will see that in every case, such individuals have been inspired by the belief in their ultimate success. They have confidently expected a successful outcome. Had they believed otherwise, they would not have had the courage and perseverance which have enabled them to overcome the obstacles in their path and to mount to success upon the stepping stones of their own apparent failures. It is confident expectation, that combination of faith and hope, which enables one to act upon the adage, when you feel that you must let go, then hang on the harder, for victory is near. When we realize the effect of confident expectation upon the will activities, we are almost impelled to agree fully with Tanner in his celebrated statement that to believe firmly is almost tantamount to accomplishment. But whether or not this principle may be carried that far, it is unquestionable that confident expectation is a most powerful and mighty element in successful and effective voluntary action. In this instruction, we have urged the adoption of the slogan, I can, I will, I dare, I do. The I can is based upon confident expectation. The I dare springs from the same inner conviction of ultimate success. In fact, the spirit of confident expectation breathes through and pervades the whole of the slogan and all the processes of the awakened will. Number 4, persistent determination. Here we approach the characteristic element of purposeful determination. The very word determination carries with it the idea and thought of persistency. There is present the idea of persistency in all applications of the I can, I will, I dare, I do slogan or maxim. There must always be present not only the determination to do the thing, but also the persistent application of the will to the task. Determination without persistency would be like the play of Hamlet with the character of Hamlet omitted. In fact, it is difficult to form a concept of practical willpower unless we include in the concept the element of active persistency. The persistent will is the effective will, the real will in action. Whatever else we may conceive effective will to be, we must always conceive it as being persistent. In persistent determination, you manifest willpower not only in voluntary action, but also in the task of steadying and holding to its work the dynamic power of will. When you have gained complete control of your aroused willpower, you must apply to its activities the quality of persistence. This quality you must manifest in steadfastness, firmness, fixed intention, positive direction, and unfailing constancy in continuing the course chosen. You must manifest it by steadfastly pursuing the work undertaken and in holding fast to the general plan designed to govern that work. You must manifest it in perseverance and in spite of obstacles and discouragements, and in steadfastness in face of opposition and hindrances. The characteristics of persistent determination are stability, perseverance, fixedness of purpose, tenacity, doggedness, and persistent application. Persistent determination enables you to hold your will close to its task, to hold it there firmly and continuously until success is attained and the victory is won. Success in many instances depends upon the application of persistent determination, the manifestation of the power and determination to hold on to the last. Many a man possessing the other qualities of willpower has fought a brave fight, but just before the tide turned in his favor, he has relinquished his efforts and has dropped out of the fight, defeated not by circumstances, but by his own lack of persistent determination. By studying the lives of the great inventors, Morse and Edison, for instance, you will see the utmost importance of the faculty of holding on and this spirit of never say die. Number 5, balanced compensation. This element of the master formula finds its familiar expression in the phrase paying the price. In all attainment, the price must be paid. Compensation is a law of nature and manifests its force on all planes of existence and in all forms of activity. One who seeks to attain anything must be prepared to pay the price. The price may consist of work performed, perseverance, persistent application, industry, and diligence, or service rendered to others with whom one has business or similar relations, of ability and willingness to give value received for what he obtains for himself, of the sacrifice and renunciation of ideas, ideals, feelings, desires, aims, and ambitions, which are opposed to the subject or object represented by the prime motives and top values. One must be willing to sacrifice the lesser values for the greater ones. All men who achieve and attain anything worthwhile have paid the price in all of the various forms just mentioned. Compensation is a necessity of attainment. There is always a balance struck between what one gets and what one gives or gives up. He who seeks to escape paying the price is defying a great law of nature and of life. It is as if in the cosmos there were maintained a great ledger in which there is both a credit and a debit column on each page. The law is continually striking balances, trial balances, and final settlements. The wise realize this and profit by their knowledge. The fools ignore it and are the losers by reason of their folly. Say the gods to men, what do you want? Take it and pay for it. The spirit of active will. The following quotations from eminent writers will serve to illustrate the spirit of the active will, particularly in its phase of purposeful determination. You should consider each of the quotations carefully, ponder them earnestly, and commit them to memory. Each one of them has been selected for the purpose of bringing out some particular point or principle, and each and all of them are designed to serve as an inspirational maxim for you in moments of trial, temptation, doubt, or discouragement. They are veritable potions of will tonic. We defy you to repeat them earnestly without feeling the vibrations and thrill of will, stirring your soul and awakening the spirit of I can, I will, I dare, I do. Keenan says, in this world, the human spirit, with its dominating force, the will, may be and ought to be superior to all bodily sensations and all accidents of environment. Harriet Beecher Stowe says, when you get into a tight place and everything goes against you until it seems that you cannot hold on for a minute longer, never give up then, for that is just the place and time that the tide will turn. D. Allenbert says, go on, sir, go on. The difficulties you meet with will resolve themselves as you advance. Proceed and the light will dawn and shine with increasing clearness on your path. Henry Ward Beecher says, it is defeat that turns bone to flint and gristle to muscle and makes men invincible and form those heroic natures that are now in ascendancy in the world. Do not be afraid of defeat. You are never so near victory as when defeated in a good cause. Quayler says, it is astonishing how many men lack the power of holding on until they reach the goal. They can make a sudden dash, but they lack grit. They are easily discouraged. They get on as long as everything moves smoothly, but when there is friction, they lose heart. They depend upon stronger personalities for their spirit and strength. They lack independence or originality. They only dare to do what others do. They do not step boldly from the crowd and act fearlessly. Emerson says, I know no such unquestionable badge and ensign of sovereign mind as that of tenacity of purpose, which through all changes of companions or parties or fortunes, changes never, bates no jot of heart or hope, but wearies out of opposition and arrives at its port. John Hunter says, is there one whom difficulties dishearten who bends to the storm? He will do little. Is there one who wills to conquer? That kind of man never fails. Napoleon Bonaparte said, the truest wisdom is a resolute determination. Munger says, a strong, defiant purpose is many-handed and lays hold on whatever is near that can serve it. It has a magnetic power that draws to itself whatever is kindred. Wirt says, the man who is perpetually hesitating which of two things he will do first will do neither. The man who resolves but suffers his resolution to be changed by the first counter-suggestion of a friend, who fluctuates from opinion to opinion, from plan to plan, and veers like a weathercock to every point of the compass, with every breath of caprice that blows, can never accomplish anything real or useful. It is only the man who first consults well, then resolves firmly, and then executes his purpose with inflexible perseverance, undismayed by those petty difficulties which daunt a weaker spirit. That man can advance to eminence in any line. Fothergill says, willpower is one of the greatest natural endowments, as it is one of the finest outcomes of self-culture. The man who succeeds in climbing step by step finds his willpower expanding with his energies, with the demands upon him. Strength of will is gameness, the power to stay. Englishmen have always prided themselves upon their game qualities, whether the tenacity of their bulldogs, the endurance of their racehorses, the unflinching courage of their game fowls, or their own indomitable purpose. Where there's a will, there's a way. The way may be long hidden from sight, hard to find, long and wearisome, seemingly endless, but on it the traveler goes with unshaken resolution to success at last. In purposeful determination and voluntary action thereupon, the will deliberately chooses an end or object to be attained, and then proceeds to manifest the determination in outward form and action. It proceeds to its end with intensity of purpose and directness of aim. The end must be clear, definite, and capable of distinct visualization. The effort to gain that end must call into operation the whole nature of the will and the whole force and energy of the willpower. As has well been said, the whole living strength of the will must be literally hurled into it, not once or twice, but again and again until it's accomplished. The purposeful determination must be real. It must be meant by you with the full power of your soul. You must not trifle with such resolutions. You must be in deadly earnest about them. Remember that the honor and integrity of your will is at stake, and that you must not bring discredit upon it. To break such resolution is to bring shame upon yourself and your will. You will do well to remember and to follow the advice given by a religious writer upon the subject, who bids his pupils to proceed to will by first making the following statement. Yes, before God, I mean that. I mean it as intensely and really as I can ever mean anything. I will keep that resolution. I know that I can and I will keep it because I mean it. Further, I will take every precaution to keep it alive and vigorous within me by remaking it again and again. This is the essence and spirit of purposeful determination. Strive ever to attain, sustain, and manifest it. This is the flash of the will that can.